All right, hello everyone. This is Justin Turner. I'm starting a YouTube channel called Juice's Brew and Q. The goal with this channel is it's going to be some barbecue recipes and tutorials. Maybe even I've got a buddy at the Bearded One. He does beer reviews. Hopefully, I'd like to get him involved in some beer reviews since brew is in the name. But most of my channel is going to be centered around pairing different craft beers with barbecue and kind of introducing all that. But today it's very cold out in Alabama. I'm in a festive spirit because it's cold in December after a big round of storms last night. But I figured, you know, I already had the Christmas vacation shirt on. Why not throw a Santa hat on with it and do this video? But today, since it's so cold, I'm not going to do any cooking. So I decided, since my buddy at the Bearded One beer review channel, he inspired me to get back to drinking craft beer. I kind of took a hiatus and started leaning more toward some mixed drinks, the whiskey, bourbon, and, you know, Miller Lite, just something real light on the stomach when I drank beer. And just because it got to the point that craft beer tasted the same, I couldn't, you know, if it was one style of craft beer, I couldn't deviate different beers in that style. And my palate just became, I like to say, I guess, you know, if you eat something hot and just burns your tongue, everything tastes the same, sort of like that. It's the only way I can describe it. But today is a special review. I may do a few reviews. That's not my thing. I might do a review within a video, maybe talk about that beer that I'm pairing with whatever it is I'm cooking that day. But since it's cold and it's the last year for the release of this, I'm going to slide this in. This is CBS. That's in the picture. This is CBS from Founders. It's called Canadian Breakfast Stout. I've got some notes, so this is my first time doing this. So it's mainly on the little description of what the website, Founders website, says about this beer, and, you know, kind of in detail. There's an interview that I found with the brewmaster. I'm gonna paraphrase it, but this beer is an 11.7 ABV. It's available in December. They say on their website it's the same base as KBS. I have not had that beer. This is actually my first beer from Founders. My buddy over at the Bearded One, that does, again, he's a beer review guy. He picked up a 4-pack and he actually promised me one. This is not his. I happened to make a trip over to Athens, West End Outdoors here in North Alabama, and just browsed and saw this was the last single they had. So I picked it up. That way he didn't have to, you know, that's almost $23 for a 4-pack. Well, he didn't have to sacrifice one of his 4-pack beers for me. But it says it's the same base as KBS, but it's aged in maple barrels. Their description of it is roasted coffee with rich maple and a velvety chocolate meld together that can only be described as a transcendental drinking experience. I don't know what that means, but we'll see. And to paraphrase that interview with brewmaster Jeremy Kosmicki, I'm going to guess that's how you say it. I'm probably butchering his name, and I apologize for that. But it's from brewbound.com. He said, this is the last year making CBS, so get it while you can. He said, the barrel program has grown since the initial release of CBS. It's been fun seeing a new audience introduced to CBS the past couple of years. It'll be missed in 2020, but I'm looking forward to bringing new barrel-aged releases. So that's a quote of his. So they are discontinuing it for whatever reason. I don't know why. I used to work for, I'm not going to say their name because I don't know how much trouble that I can get in for this or not, but I used to work for a barrel manufacturing company for one of the world's leading whiskey makers. Or, you know, I'll say United States leading whiskey makers. So I know a little bit about barrels. Me and the guy, my best friend, I'm gonna name drop him. His name's Jason Ball. Again, he's over at the Bearded One beer review channel. We were talking, and I asked him, and he kind of mentioned something. It makes sense knowing what I know about the whiskey world. He said that he thinks it might have something to do with the shortage of barrels. You know, they use maple barrels, which is Canadian, hence Canadian breakfast stout, which is what Canadian whiskey is brewed in. Some of them are brewed actually they are made and aged in maple barrels. Some are dipped. They take the whiskey, pour it in a vat, and they dip maple wood in the vat to taste it. That's your blended whiskeys. So, you know, that's a little, you know, insight. Being that I have actually made a whiskey barrel, white oak, but I have also made maple barrels. It's for the company that I worked for. They do a special maple barrel where they double age one of their whiskeys in that. Again, I would say their name, but I don't know how that all can come about. I don't know if I can get in trouble or what, so I'm not going to name drop them. Anyway, those barrels are very hard to make. Maple is a hardwood, but it's very soft hardwood. It's very hard to cut. You know, you run it through the saw to cut the defects out. It's very hard to do that. It's very, 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 very hard to mold into a barrel. The staves will break. I mean, you have so many issues with it. So I understand why those. When he told me that, it kind of made sense to me, knowing what I know and how hard it was to. We only had to make like 250 once every 6 months, and knowing how hard that was, you know, it took 2 weeks to make 250 maple barrels, and you know. The company I worked for, when I left them, I got a job closer to home. I enjoyed what I did, but when I left that company, we were producing just short of 1,100 barrels, and I think now they're doing 1,400 white oak barrels a day. Some great people work there. Again, I'm not going to name drop them. Nobody needs to know that. I don't know if I can get in trouble, but without further ado, I guess we're going to pour this up. I got my straight ale, Southern born, Southern brewed glass. I wanted to bring this in. It's my favorite brewery in North Alabama. It's called Straight to Ale out of Huntsville, Alabama. They kind of introduced me to craft beer and what took off. I did have a very, 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 very good relationship with craft beer before my palate kind of went in that pseudo, I don't know, I can't really describe it, but it just, I had a weird feeling on craft beer. I didn't enjoy it like I once did. So I took a hiatus, and now that I've came back, I can just taste, I can taste so much more stuff in whatever I do. And this is a stout. Again, like I said, this is probably my favorite category in craft beer. I love stouts. I used to be a big Guinness drinker, and that just got me hooked. I love them. I love the coffee and the chocolate, and you know, each one has its own. I actually had one at a brewery in Madison. I can't remember the name of it, but I had a stout there, and it was called a oatmeal peanut butter cookie stout. That one was incredible, but it was 90 degrees outside when I had it, so I didn't enjoy it as much as I would like. Again, it's 40 degrees here in North Alabama. I live in Florence, actually a suburb city off of Florence called Green Hill, out in the farm. I'll actually open this up. Hold on one second. As you can see, farmland behind me. So I do not own the farmland. It is farmed by one of our biggest farmers in the area. But anyway, so it's kind of nice. I have nobody behind me, one house to the left of me, some people across the street. So I mean, it's a nice quiet area. But again, without further ado, let's get into this. Just in the bottle, I don't know if some of that's the bottle I'm picking up, but I'm picking up bourbon big time. I mean, it's obviously aged in a whiskey barrel. So let's go with the pour. Head's about 1/8 of an inch. Has fairly decent retention. Again, this is some stuff I learned from my guy over at the bearded one, Jason. Yes, it's kind of fizzling out. Seems like it's got some good carbonation. You can see, I don't know if the camera can pick it up. You see it right here, and got some bubbles. So it looks like it's got fairly good carbonation. I can smell that barrel. I smell the maple and the whiskey. I can, oh, that's right punching me in the nose. Oh, it smells so good. Chocolate on the very subtle chocolate smell. And a little bit of coffee. Not much, but a little bit. All right, it's time for the taste. Wow. Holy cow, that's good. Wow. That's all I go, wow. It's got a real smooth, velvety mouthfeel, excuse me. I'm giddy. This is the best stout I've ever had. Oh my gosh. Wow. I'm sad to see they're discontinuing this for right now. Oh my gosh. Holy. I get the maple on the front end with in the middle is coffee, and then as it goes down it's just velvety chocolate. Oh my gosh. That is incredible. That's incredible. Let's go for another sip. Oh, again, it's real smooth. It's got a good silky mouthfeel. It's velvety and silky in the mouth. The second sip, I picked up more of the maple. Like I said, it's got a very rich maple syrupy. It almost drinks like maple syrup, kind of. It's real smooth and just thick. It's got some viscosity. The way it is to me, it's got viscosity. So if I was to rate this beer on a scale of 1 to 5, like I'm on Untapped, if I had to rate it on Untapped as a 1 to 5, I'd give this beer 4.75 or a 5. I mean, I can't find anything wrong with it. It's incredible. Excuse me. Smooth, chocolatey, rich. Oh man. And just because this channel is about pairing beers with barbecue, because that's what I do. I am a competition barbecuer. We have not won much anything. We placed in sauce at our first KCBS, Kansas City Barbecue Society event. We placed 4th in sauce. We're learning a lot. It's fun for us, but my partner and I, our team is Mighty Meat Barbecue. Just a little backstory on me, but anyway, I'm more of the beer guy. He's more, you know, he just appreciates, my partner appreciates barbecue. So he doesn't drink much beer. But if I had to pair this with something, I'm going beef. All day long. I'm going maybe a coffee rubbed brisket with some cocoa in it. Oh God. That will be a video for the future. If Jason says he's still going to give me one of these. If I have to get one from him, I'm actually going to pair this with a coffee rubbed with cocoa infused brisket. But anyway, that's a future video. I'm looking forward to doing this again. Casey or CBS again. Oh man, this is an incredible beer. It lives up to the hype. I've seen very high remarks on this beer. I've seen people say it's overrated. Coming from a guy that is a huge fan of stouts, I have to say this is 100% the best stout I've ever had in my life. So I'm going to finish this beer and conclude this review. Again, this was a special homage to the bearded one over at his channel, Jason Ball, my best friend, because he got me back into craft beer. He actually is the one that made me want to try this, and I'm so glad he did. Thank you, Jason. So maybe this will get uploaded. If it does, I'll blast it on social media. You can find me on Instagram, Justin Turner Barbecue. I'm on Twitter. You can, I don't know my Twitter handle. I'll have that in the future reference in my next video if I do decide to go along with this. But again, very rich, velvety, thick, viscosity, mouthfeel, like eats like a syrup. I mean, drinks like a syrup, but you know, more liquidy than a syrup. Maple on the front end, coffee in the middle, with a very rich dark chocolate on the finish. It's just incredible. Thanks for checking this out, and Merry Christmas.